They are called the night owls. Night owls have been burning the midnight oil and pushing the boundaries of mankind for thousands of years. According to mainstream scientists, some of the most revolutionary philosophers, artists, and engineers are believed to be night owls. However, over the last century, the invention of assembly lines, cubicles, and middle management gave birth to a new type of species, the early birds. Early birds are not interested in knowledge, nor have any passion in their work, but they do have a strong survival instinct. They adapt quickly. As they hone their social skills and become masters in brown-nosing, they make their way to the top of the food chain. Today, only a small number of night owls live amongst these early birds, and more have been lost by the hour. As night owl population declines, these rare species are forced to assimilate inside the nest of early birds during the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. But at night, it's a different story. On the verge of extinction, few of the remaining night owls start a revolution by building a new nest and begin recruiting the other survivors. Over the next few years, more night owls came from all over the world to join their fight. This is a place where they are recognized for their knowledge and passion, rather than how early they get up in the morning. A place where they can be themselves, a place they can call home. But this is only the beginning. Only time will tell what's ahead for the survival of this endangered species, as they embark on a journey to rise against the early birds.
Every week I read your stories, and every week I feel like I'm getting to know you better and better.
I'm going to start off with probably one of the most embarrassing stories.
This is one story that has kept me going.
I have a story from a few hours ago.
But I want to share a story that has to do with something else.
The story I'd like to share is one from when I was 10 years old.
I had a difficult time coming up with a memory that is not uncomfortable for people to read.
I held on to that for so long. I think I'm like more emotional because of hearing everybody's stories.
I really relate to Nikki because there's a lot from my past that I don't want to remember. Like, I don't want to bring it up because it's just horrible.
Really amazing just hearing the stories. I think I have a similar epiphany.
So similar thing happened to me this week.
It actually came from Hamza, who was in my previous small group.
That's the part that has to do with my ego because I'm afraid that they'll reject us.
What I learned is that in every story we can grab some very great universal teachings.
The thing I learned this week that was huge for me was I was trying to tell stories that were too big.
I think me being more vulnerable, me being myself is actually like a negative point about myself. That is something I realized.
The lesson for me was sometimes our limiting beliefs are so big in our head that we are our own worst enemy. And that's my share.
That's the story.
That's my story.
That's my story.
Practice storytelling, practice connecting the dots, but most importantly, just come back next week. And that's all I ask. And then we'll go from there. Next week.
Thank you.
Sunday. Thank you, everyone. Great week, guys.
Oh, were you filming?
Yo.
Yeah.
This is how we wind down after a long Thursday.
It's Thursday?
All right.
Jesus. Fast week, yo. Fast week.
I don't know about in any other country, but at least in the United States, if you just fucking do the bare minimum, you will fucking win. You actually have to go from victim to realizing that you're a villain in someone else's story. And that's what's gonna trigger you to take the responsibility to become a hero.
For us today, and we will leave you with a I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks!
5, 4, 3.
Oh, you hear a sound? You guys can hear me? Okay. So you guys can hear me. Hello, hello, hello. I think I realized what the problem was. This thing was loose. This cable was loose. But now I can't switch back to the... Now I can't switch back to the regular one. Can you guys hear me clearly though? Like put it in the chat if you guys can, because I think right now it's not using my... It's like using my... I think that's working now. Okay. Whew, sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, we're back. All right. Let's do this. So this is the thing that I realized. Last Monday, I did a live stream. I made a carousel, and then I worked on the carousel a little bit. I edited it, and then I posted it on Wednesday. And I realized that I'd made so many edits between the version from Monday and so I'm going to kind of go over the changes today. And then I want to talk a little bit about why those changes happened. Okay. Awesome. Everyone's happy. Everybody. Okay. There's like a huge delay. I'm using Riverside, and there's a huge delay between, like, when I say it and then there's a lag. So I might see your chat like 10 seconds after you say it or something like that. We're trying to figure out a solution for that. Maybe trying to figure out something else. But for now, please bear with me. So let me share my screen. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. We're back. Okay. So let's take a look. So this is the post. Okay. And I actually don't have the old one here anymore, huh? Shit. Let me see if I can pull a miracle here. You know what? Watch this. You guys are gonna be amazed. Watch this. I'm just doing a Command Z, so doing undo. Okay. Oh shit. No. Okay, never mind. It's not gonna work. Okay, I guess I didn't save it. Okay. So here are some of the things that I changed. So let's talk about this. On Monday, I made this carousel, and I made it like really, really long and complicated, right? Like I was, it almost went to like 20 slides. I was going on and on and on and on, and I was trying to explain like certain things in Super Mario, and then like I was trying to keep the carousel like super simple. And while trying to keep it simple, it actually ended up being 20 carousels, because the thing that I was trying to explain, it's not very simple. The mechanics of how the game design works in that thing is not very simple. And that's why I was like forcing it, right? So, version history, where do I see that? Ooh. All right, let's see. Oh, here it is. Oh, yeah. Nice. All right. Thanks, Sam. Sam, for the save. So this is what we had last time, right? When Nintendo was designing Super Mario Bros., they had a problem. Most people never saw a game like this, so they didn't want to know how to play it. So game designer Shigeru Miyamoto came up with an idea. He designed the game such a way that it teach you to play the game as you progress. For example, level 1, you're forced to run into a mushroom, and then I was gonna have like a video loop of this happening. So it forces you to learn about mushrooms. And then like here, I was gonna show them how it teaches how to jump, super jump, and then boom, boom, boom. I was gonna give 3 examples, and then he got the player hooked in the first few. Now imagine you drop somebody in the middle of level 10 without knowing the basics. They would just quit the game. That's what your members are doing. They're leaving because they're overwhelmed. Show them the basic in baby steps in the beginning, so they'll be hooked like people are in Super Mario Bros. Okay. So what's happening is this. Here, my ego is trying to over explain everything, right? And I feel like it's the carousel started to getting to a point where it's like I'm saying so much just to explain one concept. And then ultimately it comes down to like you know, letting them do these baby steps, right? So that is the lesson that I was going for. But I think I actually like while working on this carousel, I'm like, oh my gosh, why is this so long? How can I shorten it? How can I shorten it? Like, and then I was trying to, and then whenever I get to this place, which is almost every time, I get stuck. Every time I work on a carousel, work on a post or something like that, I always get stuck like this, where it's like, oh, it's so much, it's so complex. How can I simplify it? How can I make it more clear? And at that point, I was thinking, okay, what am I trying to achieve with this carousel? So it's actually a good thing when you're writing something or when you're working on a carousel and it just keeps getting more and more bigger and bigger and bigger and you just feel overwhelmed. It's actually a good thing. At that point, what you want to do is you instead of keeping at it, you actually want to stop for a second, take a step back, which is what I did, and say, what is it that I want to achieve with this carousel? This might be a good question to ask. Every piece of content that you make, every piece of email that you write, or whatever it is, what is the one thing that you want people to walk away with that takes one action, right? Meaning, I want everybody to, after they see this post, I want everybody to start waking up at 5 a.m. After this, I want everybody to start doing 10 push-ups a day. After this, I want them to start posting at least once a week. Whatever that action is, right? What is the goal? And here I was thinking, the goal here is I want to show them examples of like cool things that we're doing in Night Owl Nation that no other memberships are doing, right? And how the psychology behind it using this game example. And the reason why I want to show that is because I want people to go at the end of this carousel, I want people to be like, oh shit, that's cool. I wonder what else they're doing. I want to know what else they're doing, right? That is the entire goal. And the reason why is because the call to action of this is to go follow Rohani, who's like the churn expert, right? Because she's going to be documenting all the Night Owl Nation automation and everything that we're going to be doing. She's going to be documenting it. So I want people to go follow her. That's the action I want her to take. But in order for them to take that action, they have to be incentivized. Like, why would I follow her, right? So what I want to do is like, okay, here's 3 things that we're doing. You see how cool they are? Well, there's a lot more things that we're going to be doing. And she's going to post it on her account. So go follow her. That is like the concept, right? So knowing that, I was like, oh shit, I should just show the video. I should just show like the 20, 30-second video clips of those examples. And if I do that, I don't have to explain everything at all. And let me actually go into detail. And even though I don't like doing this, let me explain how each example, we use it in Night Owl Nation. And that's it. That's all. We don't need to talk about baby steps. We don't need to talk about, getting them stuck at level 10. Like, we don't need to explain any of that, right? So that's how we ended up with this, right? How to gamify your membership. And this first three slide, I actually worked on it for a while. The reason why I did this first, level 1 of Super Mario is considered masterclass in game design. And then I put this screen. And this is a screen that I took from you see what I did here? Here, I'll show you exactly what I did actually. Look at all my file names. Don't judge me. Okay. So I found this screenshot. And then I made it darker. Actually, I won't go into this. I won't go into the because I don't think it's very interesting. I mean, if you guys want to see it, just put it in the chat, and maybe I'll talk about it. But I don't think it's interesting. Anyway, here I highlighted level 1 and the masterclass in game design. The reason why I did that is because if you're like a game enthusiast, everyone knows this, right? Super Mario's World 1. It's called World 1, right? 1-1. It's the first level. And it's like literally the thing that every game designer studies in the beginning. And it's because like it's really masterful the way that it's designed it, if you like ever Google it. So I wanted people to understand level 1 first, right? Because I want them to really focus on that level. This is level 1. And then I want them to like masterclass in game design. So okay, the reason why I did it like that, because I don't know why actually, but for me, this feels the most intriguing. When I see this screen, learn from Nintendo with this, it makes me like me playing Nintendo. I know that this is where the finish line is, so it makes me want to see it. And then when I see this level 1 and the masterclass in game design, it makes me want to see it. Okay, what is it, right? And then here, I don't really like this screen because it's like so useless, but because some people don't even know who Miyamoto is and like how he designs the game, so I just had to add this screen so that people real like. So here's an example of copywriting thing, right? What I would have done, the old me, or like what most people do, is here they might write something like here. So how most people will write this is probably something like this. Game designer Miyamoto design Super Mario Bros. Level and Super Mario Bros. To teach the player how to play the game. Something like that, right? Like this is what most people would have done. Game designer. Okay, here's an anatomy of a design. Okay, game designer Miyamoto designed. All right, let me Shigeru. I think his name is Shigeru. So game designer Shigeru Miyamoto designed level 1 of Super Mario Bros. To teach the player how to play the game. Okay, so let's say this is what most people will write, right? And you take that, what I would do, this is what I mean by like the right way to use image, right? So I found this picture of him. So by having this picture, right? Of him holding Super Mario, combination of with this previous screen, it already says a lot of things. It already says that this guy is probably the game designer of Super Mario, and his name is probably Miyamoto. You know what I mean? So it says all of that thing just by using this image. So that's why I don't have to say game design. I can just say Miyamoto design the level, and I have to put Super Mario Bros. To teach the player how to play the game. And this is how you want to do it. Every time you write a carousel, every time you write in anything, is there another word I can remove? Is there another word is there a sentence I can remove and replace with an image? Something like that, you know? That's what I mean. Yes, visual storytelling. Yes. Okay. And then because I knew that I was going to use those video clips, here are 3 lessons that you can use to gamify your membership. Because when I say 3 lessons, right? Here's why you want to do this. The reason why I say here are 3 lessons, or I'm going to send out 5 examples in the next email. Like, the reason why you want to say that is because when you have something specific number like that, it adds much more credibility to what you're saying. Like if I say, oh, I'm going to show you how to gamify your membership. Like that, like, okay, what do you mean? Like, you know, he's probably going to tell me like add levels and blah, 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 blah. You know, like the basic gamify shit, that's probably what they're thinking, right? But if I say, here are 3 lessons that you can use, then because it's very specific, 3 things, they actually want to see what those 3 things are, right? And it's the same thing with numbers, right? If I say, oh, hey, do you want to make $1 million? Then most people are going to think that, oh, that just means, oh, make a lot of money. But if I say, hey, you know how I made $976,000 in the last year? Then it adds immediate credibility to people like, oh, in the last year and specific number, it must be real, right? So that's what the specificity is actually a great hook because it gets people to want to see that specific thing, right? So that's why I said 3 lessons, right? And once I did that, I added the examples of the 3 examples. And because I said, like, I told you, right? My goal is to show them 3 dope-ass examples so that after that, they'll go like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. What else is there? Right? So now they got here, they saw this, and they just saw 3 dope examples, right? And I showed them 3 examples. And then I said, at that point, they're like, what else is there? Want more tips on how to lower your churn rate? For 6 months, I'll be working with Ronnie to get our churn rate down to 0. Want the behind the scenes? You want to watch behind the scenes of what we're doing? She'll be documenting the whole process. And I put a link to her account. And that's it, right? So people are going to go here. And hopefully, Ronnie, if you're listening, I think you actually, oh yeah, perfect. Yeah. Like, look how well that works, right? So I go here, boom, 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 boom. And then here, it says, for 6 months, I'll be working to get our churn rate down to 0%. Want the behind the scenes, she'll be documenting her whole process. And then when you go to her, the first thing you see is I help memberships get to 0% churn rate. Follow me behind the scenes where I help a real client get to 0% churn. Whoa, it's almost like she read my mind, right? And then hopefully that'll get people to hit follow, right? And that's kind of the idea. Yeah. Yeah. Luis, that's absolutely right. Yeah. That's why they do those things in the video. It's like, oh, here, watch these 5 things. Oh, number 5 is incredible, or something like that. Welcome, Luis. Long time no talk. Hey, Shamel. How's it going? Okay. So that's all I have for now. Okay. this lag in the Riverside is fucking crazy. It's almost like I say it, and then like I think you guys are hearing it like 20 seconds later. But okay, I mean, like just know that there's like a 30-second delay. So I'm sorry if you guys are dealing with that. So, but I'm gonna try to answer as much as I can. So, okay. So today I want to work on this carousel. So I got this email. I mean, I sent this email today, and okay, here's the whole process. This is what happened, right? If you haven't been following along, so last week I posted a carousel, this one called $1 billion sales copy. I worked on over 100 websites that made a total of $1 billion in sales. Here's what I learned: branding is driven by virtue, but selling is driven by vice. People say they buy Chanel because they love the timeless style and craftsmanship, but they really buy it because they need the validation and status. Want to know how to make people need what you're selling? I'll show you on my next email this Thursday. You get it if you're on my mailing list. If not, come and email me. So you see how brilliant this works, right? Because I always say this, right? In your short form content, sell the why. And in your long form content, sell the how, right? Because first of all, nobody gives a shit about the how until they know what the why they should be doing it, right? That's why first you got to sell the why first. And then once they're like, okay, that's cool. I'm with you. How do I do it? Then you sell the how, right? So short form, and that's kind of what I'm doing. Another good example is like, you know that guy that says like make your bed, that Navy SEAL guy that's like make your bed, because you know when you make your bed, you're gonna get first thing in the morning a sense of accomplishment that's gonna get you to the next task and the next task and next task, and this is how you win your day. And series of days like this is how you win your life. So that's the why. This is why you should make your bed, right? So you're like, oh shit, okay. Now show me how. Like, how do the Navy SEALs make their bed? Show me, like, right? Now that I know why I should make the bed, now I'm like, okay, now show me how to make the bed, right? But they don't give a shit about how to make the bed until they know why. Their mom's been telling them their whole life, make your bed, make your bed, make your bed, son, make your bed. And I haven't been making my bed my whole life. I don't even want to know how to make a bed. Why? Because I don't want to make my bed. But now that you told me why I should make a bed, it sets you up in the morning. It sets you up for life. Okay, that fucking makes sense. Okay, now show me how to do it. And that's exactly what I'm doing here, right? I show you why this is important. Because people associate with the brand because of virtue, but they buy because of vice, right? Like you have to make them need what you're selling, right? So I sold them on the why. Now they're like, okay, how do you do it? Right? So you want to know how to make people need what you're selling? Well, I'll show you on the next email. If you're on my, and then now look at this shit. Email me. Like on and on and on and on and on and on and on. This is how you grow your mailing list, okay? If you're listening, anybody who wants to grow your mailing list, this is how you grow your mailing list, right? This is much better than a freebie. Because with the freebie, people are just they just want the freebie. They don't give a fuck about your email. But you look at the messaging here, right? I'll show you on my next email. So not only do they know that they're going to get this email that answers this specific question, but I consistently every week give this kind of value, right? So, and then here what I'm saying is, I'm actually saying here, if you're on my mailing list, you'll get it. But if you're not, come and email me. If you want to be, like, I'm actually telling them to get on my mailing list, right? So I don't know if that made sense. Okay. So that was the idea. So I did that, and a bunch of people fucking put in the email me. So now I gotta send the email. So this is the email that I sent today, right? And so here, okay, you guys probably already, like, if you're here, you probably already read the email, but I'm gonna, there's one part that I actually want to extract from here and turn it into carousel, which is this part right here. Okay, let me read the chat real quick. What's up, Crypto Ride? First time. What's up? Sohail, send your email with the reminder. Bring me here. Oh, nice. Good. Do you bring it back to short form after you send the email, or do you keep people? Okay, so Marasil. Okay, Marasil cards. The whole point is this: you have top of funnel, and then you have bottom of funnel, right? The bottom of funnel is your sales page. It's your book a call page. This is where people actually buy, right? Top of funnel is when the total stranger who didn't even know you existed find out about you. That's the top of funnel. So and then you have to go like this. So short form is the top of funnel. Your short form content is top of funnel. Your long form content is the middle part. That's the thing that gets them, nurtures them. And then eventually you bring them to the bottom of funnel where they buy your product and things like that, right? So you should, that's why I never, if somebody's on my mailing list and you're getting my emails, you're already in the middle of the funnel for me. So I'm never, in my email, I'm never going to send you to my Instagram. I'm never going to send you to my TikTok or my Threads. It makes no sense, right? That's where I get the new audience from. And then I bring them to my email. I bring them to my live stream, right? So that so they spend more time with me. Like, put it this way. Here it is. The more time, the more seconds, minutes, hours they spend with you, the more likely they're going to buy from you. Just think about this. Imagine they spend 20 hours watching your content. Now, I'm doing 2-hour live streams. So if you watch 10 of this, that's 20 hours. But imagine how many short videos do you have to like literally watch in order to get 20 hours, right? Like, let's think about this. Like, let me pull up, like 20 hours, that's 60 minutes, 20 hours, 60 minutes per hour. That's, 1,200 minutes. And then let's say it's 30 seconds on average. Like, you would have to watch 2,400 videos, short form videos of me to get 20 hours. That's just, I don't even have 2,400 short form videos. Okay. So what you want to do is top of funnel, short form, and then you bring them to the long form. Get them to spend as many hours as possible with you. And then you close them at the end on the bottom of the funnel. The reason why this hour thing is so important is because just think about 20 people, 20 of your friends. Okay. Now, out of those 20, think about the person that like you're probably not that close with, right? But you're close enough that you would help them or you would buy from them or something like that. They're close enough of a friend that if they asked you for your help, they would. How many hours total have you spent with this person, right? Like, if you go to lunch with somebody and spend an hour, you would literally have to go to lunch with that person 20 times to get 20 hours, right? How many people do you have lunch with 20 times? How many people have you hung out with 20 times, right? That's how significant this is. That's why I keep pushing people long form, like email, videos, podcasts. Like, you have to get people to long form because it's literally about the number of seconds and number of minutes that they spend with you. Okay. Oh, hey, Farah. Okay, I hope that I hope that answered your question, Farah. Format layout in the email. Do you keep formatted layout in mind? No, I don't. I don't. My problem with writing is always is too much. I never had a problem where it's too short. In a perfect world, I would love to send out an email that literally has 3 sentences. If I can deliver all the value in 3 sentences, that's what I would love to do. Right? Kind of like James Clear's newsletter. But I can't. I'm just not. I just don't have that much time to get it down to that. So, but my goal when every email, everything that I write, my goal is always, how can I make this shorter? How can I, whatever, did I make it shorter? Okay, now make it even shorter. Something like that. This framework of customer function needs, social needs, which do you suggest for storytelling? I read Maslow's hierarchy that talks about 5 tiers, but there's this other framework for customer needs, functional, social, emotional needs. Which do you suggest for storytelling if you've heard of it? I actually haven't heard of it, but yeah, it's probably talking. I mean, but I can kind of from what you're saying, I can kind of guess what you're saying. Almost hey, Aditya, what's up, man? Here's this. Here, I can say this. Emotional pain sells better than physical pain. I know because I worked with this client who sells a decompression belt that helps people with back injuries that have back problems. Like these are people that have a hard time like getting up in the morning and walking, and like sometimes they can't even like sit down. Like it's like. And the thing is, what I found is that when you sell on the pain, the physical pain, like people don't give a shit. But the messaging hits when we sell on the emotional pain. So we'll talk about like if you're a mom who's not able to like take care of your kids, like like take them to these activities at the park and things like that, or if you're like a grandpa, right? Like this one actually worked really well. If you're a grandpa and the whole family is going to Disney World or to hiking, and you want to spend as much time with your grandkids, but you can't because of your back, like something like that, right? That's an emotional pain. So emotional pain actually always sells better than the physical pain. Okay. Okay, Farah, I'm convinced makes sense. Any alternative to live? Maybe Telegram channels, probably not as. Yeah. Long form content. If you like writing, Substack, write articles on LinkedIn, have your own blog, email newsletter, any of those are good, right? Writing is a great long form. So if you like writing, keep doing that. Like constantly, like I think once a week is not even enough. Like you should be writing like 3 times a week. You should be posting 3 times a week. You can do podcast, right? So you can do a podcast with a guest, or you can interview people where you have conversations. You can do YouTube channels. All of those are good long form. Yeah, blogs. Yeah, all good. It can be 6 hours met thrice. With some people, you can just know. Yeah, exactly. Dan Martell is good at sending 3-sentence email, and they work honestly. It kills me. Yeah, those short email, like if you can send short emails that deliver value, like that's even more valuable than some long ass email. Like I think it depends, right? If I was Jay Shetty, I would probably send like 3 quick short motivational or inspiring or thought provoking things. That's what I want. Actually, maybe I should start doing that, because like people love my threads. So I should like take like 3 threads and then boom, like maybe, you know what? I'm gonna try that. I'll try it. See how people see people like it. Here's the thing, right? I think you guys all need to understand like your strength and weaknesses. For me, I don't think my strength. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not Jay Shetty. I'm not Gary Vee. I'm not um like my strength is not inspiring people. Um, you know, like like Jay Shetty, like empathy, caring, all that woo bullshit, right? That's just not my strength, right? Like my strength, I actually think is like more longer form, more thoughtful, like dissecting ideas and philosophies and things like that. I feel like that's more of my strength, and so I'm gonna double down on my strength, and I would advise you to do the same, right? Now, even with my strength, like I actually like analyzing, breaking down, reverse engineering, and figuring how things work and things like that. But I fucking hate reading books. I hate academia. So even in this world, there are people who are like research backed, like PhDs and shit like that, who goes deep into dissecting those things. But I don't resonate with those people at all. So I'm not gonna try to even bother doing that because that's just not me. So that's what I mean. Like I just gotta do it my way. And I feel like for me, this type of like doing live streams like these, where I'm just talking through my ideas, podcasts where I'm having long form like conversations, like those things just work really well for me. So I'm gonna keep doing it. I mean, I just started, so let's see where it goes. Okay. Can you repeat what you said about short form versus long form content, which is how and which is okay. So you have short form content, which is your threads, Twitter, Instagram, Reels, TikTok, short form content. And then you have long form content, which is your email, podcast, newsletter, blog, Substack, live streams like these, right? What you want to do is short form is the algorithm where you go and reach new people, that complete strangers that don't know you, right? And then once they come here, they bring you to the long form, and then long form is where you build relationship with them. Okay? You never send traffic from long form to short form. You always send traffic from short form to long form. Okay? And the way you do this is you teach the why in the short form, and you teach the how in the long form. So imagine I have a business all around making your bed. And I show you how to make your bed, different ways to make your bed, and blah, 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 all different types of around making your bed, right? People are watching this going like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to know how to make my bed. I don't need to know how. I know how to make my bed, right? My mom's been telling me to make my bed all day, all year, all my life, right? But imagine they say like this. Imagine like that Navy SEALs guy. Hey, here's why you should make the bed every day. This is short form content. Here's why you should make the bed every morning. Because when you make the bed every morning, you get a quick sense of win, accomplishment. So that sets you up to do the next task. Brush your teeth, shower. The next task, go to the gym. Next task. And this sets you up to win the day. And when you have series of days where you win, this is how you win your life. And that's why you should make your bed. Now I said the why. Who's like, people are listening like, oh shit, I never thought of it that way. Okay, now I understand the why. Okay, now teach me the how. You want to know how to make bed the proper way? If you really want to utilize this you want to do it like the Navy SEAL way, and I'm going to teach you how to make a bed the Navy SEAL way. Just subscribe here or comment here and this and it, and then I'll show you in my long form content. I'll show you in my video. I'll show you do you understand what I mean? So sell the why in the short form, get the eyeballs, and then you get them to now that you know the why, now you want to know how, right? You teach the how. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Let's see. Long form is the how, and the example. Yeah, okay. Can the same content go back into LinkedIn article Substack? Yeah, I do. Yeah, guys, don't be scared to repurpose your content. You spend all the time making content, repurpose it. You write a newsletter, post it on your blog, post it on your LinkedIn, post it on Substack, post it on Medium, send it out in your newsletter. Why? Like, what is the downside of doing that, right? 19 watching, only 6 likes. Let's help Sun out here. Like, oh, thanks, Paul. Woo! Yes, thank you, guys. I can't write script and make videos, but this is Sanan Shahali. I can't write script and make videos, but I can open the camera and speak without script about topic. Is that normal? I mean, that's not normal. So you're actually a phenomenon, right? So Sanan, you should be doing that. Because not everybody knows how to just yap on camera. So if that is what you like and that's your strength, you should do that. Even if it gets no views, keep doing it. I think this is kind of important. Whatever your style of content is, like if you like yapping or if you like writing or if you like, do it exactly raw and authentic in the beginning. Don't think about hooks. Don't think about structure. Don't think about anything. Don't think about engagement, views, length, nothing like that. Just put it as raw and authentic as possible. The way it feels like the most honest to you. And then even if it doesn't get views, keep doing it. Because as long as it's like very raw and honest, eventually it'll start to, it'll start to, get traction. Okay. I like your email, son. The conversation is valuable, fun to read. Thank you. I love direct, diverse, short emails. No, son, your strength is being direct to the point. Yes, that is my strength. Can't do my strength as video. You'll like my vibe on video, but I'm not clear enough for you to trust me. So I write instead, even if I'm better at videos. I'll say this. Don't be the judge of your own skills. I don't want any of you to say, I'm just not good at videos. I'm just not good at writing. I'm just not good at this. Because a lot of times I found this. Sometimes the thing that you think you're not good at is actually the thing that you're great at. And I see this a lot. So you might think that like you don't come off clear and things like that, so people might not like you. Because like and the reason why I'm saying that is like I'm like that. Like I'm not a very eloquent speaker. I don't deliver ideas like short and direct and when I speak. Only when I write, right? But I think people like that. Some people like that. Because like the difference is this. There's two types of writing and there's two types of speaking. There's the writing you do, where the purpose of writing is for you to work on the idea and get clear on the idea, right? And once you've done that, then when you edit your writing, that's the whole purpose is, okay, can I condense it and get more structure so I can deliver it the most efficient way, right? Speaking is the same thing, right? So somebody who's on stage giving us talk, they're very short, concise, direct, it's very rehearsed, right? Almost like it's written. And that's a skill that you learn of like speaking, right? But there's a different types of speaking, which is the kind of thing that happen when you collaborate in a meeting, right? Kind of like this, what I'm doing right now, right? Or podcast, where the purpose of speaking for me right now, the purpose for me to speak is not because I have this idea and I want to deliver it to you concise. If that was it, I would have wrote a speech and I would have delivered it in a 30-minute speech, right? The purpose of this is for you to actually hear my thoughts, if that makes any sense. That's why it's going to be messy. It's not going to be clear. It's not going to be cohesive. But what you are going to get is you get to hear my thoughts. You get to hear how I think. And that's a completely different kind of speaking. Do you know what I mean? So don't forget that. Okay. Okay. The long form is bottom of funnel too. Yeah, long form is towards the bottom. Yeah. My strength is genuine storytelling, relatability, giving words to things people I have hard time talking about. I feel like I am. Mostly like that in writing, but I am realizing I give everything away on Instagram. Yeah, don't give anything away on Instagram. You know why? Because even if you give everything away on Instagram, people don't care. People are not on Instagram to learn the how. Nobody's learning the how. Like nobody's going like, I mean, maybe Gigi does sometimes, but nobody's on Instagram going like, okay. Nobody's taking a master class on Instagram, okay? Nobody's learning how to do, nobody's learning how to like change your tires or fix your transmission on Instagram, okay? People are doing that on YouTube, right? So, yeah, don't give anything away on Instagram. Give away all the whys. Make them realize why they need this. And this is the whole point of Night Owl Nation, right? In Night Owl Nation, what I'm trying to do with you guys is I'm trying to teach you how to make people say, I never thought of it that way, right? And if you deliver the why correctly, just like the making the bed with the Navy SEALs, if you can deliver the why, then they'll be sold. Then they'll be like, okay, tell me the how now, right? If I say, hey, like you have to sell the, okay, here's a good example. Actually, never mind. I think I've exhausted the topic. Okay, I read your email, TP Avis. I read your email today. Could you please give an example how it could work when I'm trying to sell physical handmade product? Thank you. I'm learning a lot from you. That makes sense. I'll try that. Only 1% act. Yeah. Okay, I'll answer that question. So if you're selling a physical product, I'm gonna answer it in this way. What you're selling is it's basically like you're selling merch, right? That I'm gonna guess like you're selling like let's say, I don't know, it's probably not wallets, but handmade wallets, handmade purse, or handmade, whatever it is. Now, there's two things, right? There are some brands where it takes off because people just fucking love the design. If you're a super talented designer and you know what people like and you know what people buy, and the design itself is just so cute or so good, like I gotta have it, people will buy it, right? It's one of those things, like novelty items or something like that, right? So if that's the type of product, do that. But if not, and if it's like the meaning behind the product is what you're selling, then you gotta sell the story. This is where storytelling becomes more important than anything else. It's like charity water, right? You're basically, if you're selling fashion items, okay, you know what? This just came to my mind. There's literally no difference between marketing a fashion brand and marketing a nonprofit like charity water. Because on both, you're selling an idea. You're creating a movement. Does that make sense? So if you're selling merch or you're selling items where the item has meaning behind it, right? Like let's say I'm selling this Night Owl Nation hat or something like that. I will tell a story behind it, right? Like why here's why I named my company Night Owl. When I was 19 years old, I was in college, And on my campus, our dining hall closes at 7 p.m. And at 7 p.m., after that, you can't get food anywhere else except Night Owl, which is a place where you can pay 10 times as much. But when you're hungry in the middle of the night, that's where kids go to. And that was my first job. And I can go into like telling stories. And then 10 years later, when I started my agency, I decided to call it Night Owl for this reason. To me, being a night owl means that you're not like it's the opposite from being an early bird. Early birds are like the corporate, you wake up at 6 a.m., cold plunge, you go to work, you kiss your boss's ass, you play the politics, and this is how you win the corporate game. To me, those are early birds. Night owls are the opposite. These are the ones that doesn't thrive in corporate environments, right? They had to start their own business because they're not conventional. They don't work conventional, right? And this is what it means to be a night owl to me. And this is why you should buy this hat, because that's what it means to us, right? So this is what you're selling. That's why that's why I say there's no difference between selling nonprofit like cherry water and like a fashion item, like a fashion brand like Supreme or something. It's both about, we're the type of person that cares about this. That's what you're selling. Right? I hope that makes sense. Okay, damn, we fucking spent an hour already. Okay, I'm gonna make this carousel. Because it's like this is the part that I've never really like. See, this is why I love writing. Because I came up with this analogy while I was writing this email. I never even thought about this. And then as soon as I came up with it, I was like, oh shit, I should make a carousel about that. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Let's start. I'm running out of space here. Okay. So the idea of this carousel is going to be, okay, let me read the chat real quick. The point is to make them invested in the idea enough with the why and the way you're saying for them to want to know the how in the long form. Yes. I never thought of it that way. Haha, thanks for answering. I appreciate all your content. Yeah. My pleasure. TP Farah, my business is the proof for what Sun is saying. People buy Marasiel cards for the story, period. We have the thickest cards, but no one cares. It's mainly the story behind. Yeah. That was super helpful. That example about the Night Owl Nation had the meaning behind what you're selling. Thank you. Okay, yeah. You're welcome. Okay, I'm glad you guys are. My goal here. You know how I talk about I have no purpose in life? I have no why. I don't have a why. I don't have no big purpose. I don't believe that fucking humans have like a, some grand purpose, or I don't believe any of that, right? I believe that we're on this earth. Like I was put on this earth. Here's my genes. Here's my brain. I've evolved this way, and what makes me happy? This is my purpose. I feel that I'm living my most meaningful life when I'm being useful. So if something I said here helped you, and I feel like it was useful, I feel great, right? If I'm coaching somebody useful, great, right? So no matter in every room that I walk into, my goal is to be useful, and that is my only purpose in life. Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna put. I know that on one of the slides I'm gonna put. Oh, here's another thing I noticed. When I made that carousel last week, and on Monday, and then I kind of redesigned it myself and I posted it. All those changes that happened. I think that happened because I was on my own, kind of quiet, working by myself. Like on Monday, when I'm like trying to design and come up with the ideas and trying to kind of like entertain you at the same time, and it's kind of hard. So when I'm designing, I'm gonna try this. When I'm designing, I'm gonna try not to talk. I'm gonna try not to yap, and I'm just gonna focus on designing. But I am gonna read all the chat. So if you have questions, if there's anything you want to say, put it in there because I'm reading the chat. Okay. So if it goes quiet, I'm not saying anything. It's because I'm working. Okay. Okay. So first, you need to identify where the customers are in this hierarchy. So I want to say here something like, I'm just going to put the example in first because I don't know. I actually don't know how I'm going to start, how I'm going to end, what's going to be the purpose, what's the myth. I don't really know. All I have is just the idea of the example. So I should actually put this. In my story bank. This is the first thing I should have done, actually. Night owls, don't make the same mistake. In the future, when you have ideas, just put it in story bank first. Okay. Actually, I want to see if I can find. Okay. So you guys get the concept, right? I talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Starting from the bottom, what's the most needed for survival, and then you go up. And then I talk about the three different restaurants: Chipotle, the Cheesecake Factory, and Peter Luger. And even though they're all selling food, they're actually selling completely different need, like Maslow's need, right? So Chipotle is selling, like Chipotle is basically, nobody goes to Chipotle because you know it's fancy, or nobody goes there to like hang out with their friends, right? People go there to eat lunch. People go there to put calories into their body with something that tastes decent. That's the purpose. That's the need that it feels. So it feels as physiological, the most basic need, right? The food, water, shelter, right? Cheesecake Factory feels a different need because people go to Cheesecake Factory for friend's birthday, to hang out with, to catch up with friends, for family dinners. Like it's like, nobody's just going to Cheesecake Factory at dinner just to fuel up. Okay, so what they're actually selling is they're selling the need for belonging, right? Oh, I wish I can go out to dinner with my friends, right, or family, right? Peter Luger, where they sell $400 steaks. This is where like celebrities go, right? This is where businessmen go to close deals, like to show their status, right? So what they're actually selling is esteem. So these are three different audience at three different stages in their life that have three different needs. Nonetheless, they're all needs. So if you can somehow target their needs, you can sell them. Okay? That's the idea. Now, that's why I put Chipotle Cheesecake Factory here. But in terms of copywriting, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, instead of Chipotle, let's go to Claude. What's a restaurant? What's a restaurant similar to the Cheesecake Factory where families... Oh, let's see what they say. You know what? I'm gonna go with Olive Garden. You know why? Number one, it's shorter, right? I'm trying to keep the character to the minimum so that people can just quickly see stuff. But secondly, I think more people know Olive Garden than Cheesecake Factory. So if you don't know Cheesecake Factory, you might be like, you know. And same thing. Here. What's a very fancy steakhouse? Fancy and famous steakhouse. Peter Luger comes up first. Okay. What's a very famous, well-known restaurant? What's the most famous 5-star restaurant in the world? Okay, never mind. I'm not a foodie, so I guess I'll leave it at Peter Luger. Oh, you know what? Here's how I can do it. So take these 3 restaurants for example. Chipotle. Oh, Ruth Chris? Yeah. But I feel like Ruth Chris, if you know Ruth Chris, you would know Peter Luger too. And Ruth Chris I feel like when people think of Ruth Chris, I don't think they think of like really status. Right? Like, you know, like Ruth Chris, Smith and Walensky, those are kind of like, you know, decent steakhouses. But when you think of Peter Luger, it's like that's like where, you know, you see all the limos parked outside, you see the celebrities and things like that, you know. Capitol Grill, yeah. I'm gonna go with Peter Luger. Okay, so and then here I'm gonna do each one. I'm gonna do example of each one. So there's 3 examples. Peter Luger, Olive Garden. What do you guys think? Do you guys think are you guys more familiar with our Olive Garden or the Cheesecake Factory? Like, yeah, put in the chat if you've never heard of Olive Garden. Or put in the chat also if you've never heard of the Cheesecake Factory. I want to see which one is more. I want to know which one's more known. Right? And here, what I'm going to do is, in case people don't know, actually, you know what? Maybe I will go with the Cheesecake Factory. I'm such a fickle bitch. I change my mind every 2 seconds. Yeah, Nobu is another one. Yeah, Nobu is a good one. No, I can't use clothing because I feel like most of the time, for the most part, every clothing is somewhat of a fashion brand, right? Like every clothing brand, you're selling status. So it's like it's not really filling a physiological need at all. I mean, it is, but not anymore, really. Oh, you know Nobu, okay. Let's see, Nobu. Let me put the copy in there first and see how it sounds. Now let's try Olive Garden. And then here we'll do Nobu. And I'm gonna find picture. Look at this one. I guess this is like a parody of Olive Garden video. All right, let me just ask ChatGPT. Oh, hey Lucy. You only heard of Chipotle? Yeah, Olive Garden. I just realized when you're here, your family. All right, let's see Nobu. Oh, that's a hotel, Nobu. I'm trying to find a photo that I can use that has like some copy space. You know what I mean? Maybe I can use this one. Yeah, let me try that one. Let me actually look at Peter Luger. Bye, Farah. Hello. Hi, my life next door. I'm trying to find a good photo. Nice photo of Peter Luger. If you guys have any questions, you can just put it in the chat because I'm reading the chat. I'm just not talking when I'm just, when I'm in the zone. "11 Madison Park." I haven't heard of Nobu, but it looks like it's the typical expensive place. Yeah, so I think I might just have to show the food. I think if I show the food, even if they don't know what the restaurant is, this is this is the job of a copywriter, right? Like you have to figure out, okay, how do I get this point across? Whether using image, text, or whatever it is, like you kind of have to think of it. Julie Howard, no burger menu, but the chef overheard a customer say he hadn't done one thing in NY yet, an NY burger. So the chef sent his team out to get all the ingredients and served up an NYC burger. You guys ever watch you guys ever see that movie The Menu? So good. Yeah, interior. The thing is, like, the thing about Peter I don't know if you guys anybody been to Peter Luger. Like Peter Luger inside, like it looks kind of shit. It looks like shit. It's not that nice. Okay. No, but I will watch The Menu. Okay. That remind me of The Bear. That show was so good. Haven't seen The Menu too. The Bear? Is that a show or is that a movie? You've taken the joy of eating, and I'm still hungry. How long should a carousel be, son? How many pages do I usually keep it under 10? I keep it like 10 or less. You know what? I'm not gonna say how long it should be because I think that it depends. Because I've seen, like here's the thing. If you write those carousels that are like really, really long, takes really long time to read, those are not gonna go viral. Those are only gonna be viewed by people who already follow you. So if you're like a huge celebrity and you write those, of course they're gonna get a lot of views. But if you're a small account and you write those, they're not gonna do that well. Do you know what I mean? So it depends. Like you can make it long, 20 slides if you're doing some sort of a tutorial where you're teaching them something. But otherwise, for me, the type of carousels that I make, I keep it under 10. Yeah. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now. The bear. Okay. Yeah. Okay, got it. Okay, back to work. Feel free to bother me, interrupt me anytime. I love hanging out with you guys. So, okay, Olive Garden. Next, Olive Garden. Thanks, Luis. I'm glad you came today. Feel like we haven't talked in so long. We're relaunching, Luis. I didn't know if you know. We're relaunching Night Owl Nation next month. Olive Garden will sells. Does it really mark AI? I didn't notice that because I use AI a lot. Yeah, I didn't even know that, Luis. I personally, it doesn't really bother me actually. When I see those labels like AI content, you know what? You know what it is for me. I think for me, the fact that it's an AI is not a turnoff. Like I think it's a turnoff if they're actually like tricking you or something like that. Because sometimes I see videos that are like clearly AI, and I really like. I still like it because I like the idea. Do you know what I mean? I mean that's my like I'm you know me. I'm all about brutal honesty. So yeah, that's like literally my highest like core value is truth. You know. Okay, let's find Chipotle now. Chipotle is gonna be easy. Yeah, I feel like an image like these would be good because it's like, you know. But the thing is, because I'm the other two images are like black and black. I don't want to do white here because it's gonna be inconsistent. I don't want people to get confused. You know. So that's why I'm gonna use this image instead. What the hell? I'll go with this guy. A designer talked to a meta team got to know if anything is simple, like even background remover is used, which was AI, it will mark as AI. BG remover in case. Yeah, I think it's fine. It doesn't bother me, like unless it's like it would bother me if it's like purposely misleading, right? For example, if you're selling a skincare product and it's an AI that's doing the skincare thing and it shows the result and you're almost trying to fake it like that was a real obviously that's very unethical and or if you're like selling a fashion item um and it doesn't like it's AI generated so the actual thing doesn't even look like that or something like that. But if you're using AI like the way I'm using it right now, like where it's like the AI is not the point, right? It's just this is just supporting the overall bigger picture that I'm trying to tell here. I honestly think most people don't care, you know. The new AI creator label. I'm an anti-AI creator. Sells cheap. What's the? Let me ask Claude. What's a word for delicious, but like just good enough? Decent. Cheap and decent food sells decent food at good price. That's a physiological need. Edible. This is the most color. I know, right? It's like my most colorful carousel. It's because of all the food. If you guys have any questions about anything I'm doing, just you can put it in the chat. Yeah, I mean, feel free to ask anything or talk about anything because, yeah, I'm mainly here every Monday and Thursday to hang out with you guys. So that's why I'm here. So whatever you want to talk about, I'm all for it. What up to my Maslow's hierarchy? I did have a very off-topic question. I asked at the very beginning, but since it's off-topic, I'll ask at the very. Yeah, go ahead, ask, please. Ask your question. Dear Robes, are you going to have this session up online? Yeah, every live stream, the replay is always there. So if you just go to my YouTube channel and click on the live tab, all the past lives are in there. Yeah, Julie, this is 100% short form content. I'm selling the why. So this is carousels. Usually will go on either Instagram or LinkedIn as like a PDF document. So here I'm telling you, I'm selling you the why, right? So here's be a good example. In this carousel, I'm selling the why. Why is it important for you to target the Maslow's hierarchy, right? Like, and so I'm telling you why it's important, right? Now, let's say I have a 1 hour long video all about copywriting and how to fill each one of the needs. An example of this, here's the thing. Example of this, how to do it. Blah, blah, blah. Let's say I have an hour long video, or I have a online course for $100. The way you would do it is you sell the how. Here's why Maslow's hierarchy is important and different needs and blah, 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 blah. You give the example. Here's why it's important. Now that you know that it's important, you want to do it for your business? Well, I have a 1 hour course that can teach you how to apply Maslow's hierarchy in your copywriting for your business, and you can buy it for $100. Boom. You know what I mean? Or I have an 1 hour YouTube video and you can go watch it here. Boom. So that's how you would do that. Yeah. Oh, what do you use? What do you use for trust signals to build trust if there is no past client results testimonials? I'm building my website VSL etc, so it needs to be compelling enough so I become the obvious next step. Okay, here's what I'll say. If you don't have clients results testimonials yet, right now you should not be building funnels, VSLs, things like that. You should not be doing that. That's not, you're not at that stage yet. Here is the correct entrepreneurial stage that you want to go through, okay? First step of running a business is not to go register your business, make a logo, make a website, marketing. That's not the first step. First step of business is to sell something and get a complete stranger to give you money in exchange for this service that you're selling. That's first step. Once you don't even need a business for that. You don't need a company name. You don't need anything. You can even collect money to your personal bank account, right? You don't need anything to do that. You have to do that like 3 to 5 times and show them the result, right? Show the client the result, right? And if nobody wants to pay you for this because you don't have testimonial, then do it for free. Once you collect these 3 testimonials or case studies or whatever it is, you over deliver. Give them undeniable proof that your service works. Once you've done that, then now you have testimony, you have case study, you have undeniable proof that this works. Then you do the VSL, you do all of that afterwards. Does that make sense? So I don't think you're at that step yet. Every business, first step, provide your service to a total stranger. Prove that it works. Prove you can provide value. Undeniable proof. Once you have that, then you sell. You start marketing it. And then once you know that it works at mass scale, then you put fuel to fire and just send it out to a million people. That's how it works, right? So proof, you start marketing, and then you scale. You skip the first part. This is the first ones to pay money. Yeah, then you should already have testimonials, right? If you already helped, like even if you did work, like for me, the way I started, the first 5 website I did, I made for my friends for free. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of how you have to start. Yeah. Yeah. The free one doesn't give trust to that person. But once you have this in your portfolio, you have that. Then the next person you charge money to. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm. I don't even know if I'm making any sense. Oh, so you've already given for free. Then then you obviously haven't earned their trust. You know what I mean? Because if you give them a service for free and they want to keep, I mean, I guess there are cases like that where like some people will just constantly try to take advantage of you. I mean, here's the thing: like when you're running a business, you kind of have to learn how to read people, right? Because some people you do it for free, and they'll be like, "Oh wow, I can't believe you did all of that for free. Let me pay." Because I've had clients where I did it for free, but they insisted and they paid me anyway, right? And then some people, when you do it for free, they'll keep trying to get free shit out of you. Like they're gonna suck every fucking last like a vampire blood out of you, right? So if you recognize that it's that client is just the fucking cheap client who just wants to fucking suck every last drop out of you, you gotta fucking let that go. You know what I mean? You're never gonna. That's like being in a toxic relationship with the fucking boyfriend that keeps fucking abusing you. But you're like, oh no, he'll change. No, you don't understand. No, you're in a fucking toxic relationship right now. If that is the case, you're in a toxic relationship and you need to fucking stop doing free work. Okay? How do I best apply these principles? If I'm selling a low value, high volume physical product, I have firewood business that sells direct from farm. Okay. Um yeah, I mean, Peter, your business is kind of like my agency business. It's a brick and mortar, but it's a relationship business, right? I don't think you. I don't think telling story around firewood is what's gonna, because you're basically a wholesaler. So what you need to do is you you know what you can do. You can use storytelling to build relationship with your vendors, with your retail stores, right? That's how you can use storytelling. And for this type of storytelling, what you want to do is you want to listen to their stories, and then you want to relate to them by like when they tell you, "Oh, I'm fishing and this happened," right? Then what you're gonna do is like, "Oh my gosh, I love fishing, blah blah blah." That reminds me, and then you tell your story that relates to that story, right? And like that, but you're in a relationship business. You're not in a product business. You're not in a service business. You're in relationship business. The only people buy from you because of relationship. Okay. I think you guys can kind of you can kind of see what I'm doing right here. Like I'm just I forgot to save this layer file, so I'm just doing a little more ghetto fabulous way. Some little ghetto fabulous photoshopping. Okay, time's up, so I'm gonna end the live stream. But let me just quickly go over, like, how it's gonna work. Like Maslow's hierarchy of needs in marketing. So I'm gonna have to write some sort of a hook on the first thing, and then here the first 2 slides is gonna be I'm gonna show the Maslow's hierarchy. I guess I have to explain something here. So there's a hook, and I might have a text something like this, right? And then I show the Maslow's hierarchy. You show this, and then you swipe, you see this, and then take these 3 things to example: Chipotle, Olive Garden, Nobu. All 3 sell food, but they'll sell different needs. Chipotle sells physiological needs. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Do you know which one you're targeting? And then I'll have some sort of call to action. I mean, for this one, I'd probably just tell them to like subscribe to the email or something like that. I don't have a specific call to action for this. But if you're like a copywriting teacher or marketing teacher, you can use your imagination. Okay, that's all I got for now. I'm gonna go live again every Monday and every Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Louise. Thank you, Dear Robes. Julie, you buy firewood every year. Okay. That's all I got. Thank you so much. I hope everybody comes back next Monday. I go live every Monday, every Thursday. You can watch me work. We can hang out. I can answer questions. Like it's pretty casual. So hope I see you again. Until then, have a great week and peace out, y'all.